Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.
Hello and welcome to the Well, I Fucked That Up podcast and to the first of my mini fuck up episodes. This week, I'm going to be talking about the belief that going for it can set us up for failure and rejection. But before I really get into that, I want to just tell you a little story. So I grew up in a small town, large village in Cheshire. It's called Bollington, and it's very lovely. And right sort of going through Bollington is something called the Middlewood Way. It's an old like train track or something, but it's now a cycle path, basically. And it's where I learned to ride a bike. And I remember very vividly cycling down the Middlewood Way. I must have been about 6 years old. I was with my dad. I hadn't long been off stabilizers, but I don't remember like the exact details. But I wasn't unconfident, but I hadn't had any reason not to be. And as you go along the path, mainly it's really flat and it's really straight, but there's this one little bit that sort of just wiggles slightly to the left and then straight on. And as I was going along, I sort of just went for it. I didn't even think about it. I just went for it and I fell off. And I remember it really clearly because I fell off into this big muddy puddle that was there. And I was wearing my brand new shell tracksuit. You remember those ones that you couldn't get like near a bonfire? And yeah, you were just going to explode if you don't near a bonfire in them. They're sort of crunchable. They were sort of made out of tinfoil or something. I don't know. But I was really pleased with it. It was really fab. This is the early 90s. And yeah, it was covered in mud. And I was really upset. I hadn't hurt myself, but I was really upset. And I felt silly. This is quite a busy cycle path. So there were other people there. And, I don't remember people laughing, but maybe they did. I don't know. But I do remember being mortified and really upset about it all. And I just wanted to go home and have a little pity party. But then I remember the next time we went cycling on the same path, and I knew this point was coming up. And I hadn't quite worked out what I'd done wrong. So I hadn't quite worked out the sort of speed of the handlebars, that kind of thing. And so I was approaching this, and the only thing I could remember, the only thing I could think of to help me in that situation was just repeating to myself, don't fall in, don't fall in, don't fall in. And I didn't fall in. And for years, I repeated that as I went past this little wiggle. And do you know what? If I went cycling there today, I'd probably just naturally repeat that. And as affirmations go, it's probably not the best one, but that's for another conversation, another day. But what I had back then was a choice. I had a choice to never cycle again, never cycle on that bit of path again, and not to risk embarrassing myself, in my opinion, getting muddy, ruining my whatever it is that was upsetting me, and maybe what I want to do it. I had the choice not to do it, or I had the choice to try again and to learn. And what I learned was about balance. Learned that without even realizing it. I learned to have confidence, and I learned about the power of my mind in helping me get through challenging situations. And we're all doing that, aren't we? Every single day in our businesses, we come up against hurdles, we come up against challenges, barriers, things that are holding us back. And what we have a choice. We have a choice to, are they going to stop us from achieving our goals, or are they going to be part of a learning experience? Because ultimately, when you take action, it really is an opportunity to learn and grow. And the reason I chose this topic is because I've had so many messages from people about last week's guests and how they are so pleased for me because they know how much I admire Fletch and admire Neighbours. And so they're like, wow, how did this happen? And it happened because I took action and I went for it. And like I say in the episode, I shot my shot, shoot my shot, shot my shot, and I just went for it. And it's that action. And yeah, absolutely. When I sent that email, I was not expecting to get a yes there. I was expecting nothing, to be honest. I wasn't expecting to hear back from him, and I didn't for a long time. And I was cool with that. Like, I'd had a go. It hadn't come off, and that's okay. But what we find so often in business is we don't even have a go. We don't put ourselves out there because of that fear of rejection, that fear that someone or something or whatever is going to say no. Sorry, my contact lens is just gone a bit funny. It's making me distracted. Yeah, this fear that someone's going to say no. And then we don't do it. We make assumptions. We do it all the time, whether it's sending an email to a celebrity and asking them to be on your podcast, or whether it's following up with someone who said they're thinking about working with you, or whether it's signing up to a new program, or whether it's there's just all the time we're just doing these things where we're going, the risk seems so much of this rejection or this failure that I'm not even gonna try. And I'm not suggesting that you go out and send messages to everyone that you want on your podcast and hound them until they say yes. Like, absolutely not. They're allowed to say no. That's cool. But put yourself out there because they can't say yes if you haven't asked. And in the last week, or the last 2 weeks since Fletch agreed to be on the podcast, I've sent loads of messages to some absolute dream guests. And yeah, like, I'm not sure if it'll all come off. Who knows? Like, that's what it is. I'm being open, I'm being honest, and we will see. And what I learned is that actually going for it is better than not. But often when we're in that situation where we need to step outside our comfort zone and basically face the fact that we might get rejected or we might fail at something. And that can feel really overwhelming. So when you're in that situation, remember that small steps towards your goal, like just the littlest thing. So we're not thinking about the actual goal, we're thinking about the small steps towards that. And it just allows you to build the momentum to make them happen. So for example, when I sent Fletch that email, originally, it was just sending an email. I wasn't thinking about sitting down and doing the recording and what that would mean. Because that would have probably panicked me. Oh, I can't do that. But it was just, do you know what? Just send the email. That's easy. I can send an email. And yeah, if you're thinking the same, maybe it's about a client who reached out to you, said, you've had this conversation, maybe you've even had a sales call, and they're interested in working with you. They've told you they're interested in working with you, but they're thinking about it for whatever reason. Like, that's cool. But you're thinking, oh, do I reach out? Or maybe they've decided they're not interested. Like, they're not interested, so I'm not going to reach out again. But what if they're just busy? What if they really are interested and they're just waiting for you to get back in touch? They've just got some more questions. And that's where it's just sending a message. It's just sending a message, reconnecting with somebody and seeing that whole process differently. So what I think we should do, if you're running a business and you feel that there's things on your goal list that you really want, you know they're possible, but maybe part of you is going, oh, I don't know. Work out the little steps that will get you there. Work out it's almost like the minute detail. So what needs to happen to start the next thing happening? And then when that's done, what needs to go next? And go from there. Take a little bit of action. And I have a guide all about following up. So if your thing is like you're sat here listening or watching and you're thinking, I know I need to do some more follow-ups. I know that that's a thing. I feel really awkward about it. I feel like I'm going to get rejected. I feel like I'm annoying people. Then go and download the Ultimate Follow-Up Guide, because it has it all in there. It has a step-by-step process for you to follow to make it super easy. There are scripts in there for you to follow, again, making it super, super easy. And it just breaks it down so you can take those little steps towards your goal. And yeah, you might get a no, but you also might get a yes. And regardless of whether you get a no or a yes, you absolutely will have had the experience of learning, and that is growth. You will have grown and developed, like neurologically, by doing that process. And really just want to end this mini episode with the reminder that your value as a human being is not determined by the outcome of something, of your attempt to try something. Like, I am more than my success and failures, and so are you. If you want to download the guide, you can find the link to that in the show notes, or head over to laurenmalone.co.uk/follow-up-guide, and do find me on Instagram at lauren.malone.coaching. I'm back next week with another amazing guest and longer episode where we really dig deep and learn something from them. Can't wait to share that with you, and I'll see you for another mini fuck up soon.
Isn't life so amazing? Sometimes it can get crazy, but hey, that's okay. We've got another day to make mistakes and say sorry. There's no sense in our worry, 'cause all we can do is try our best to make it through with love.